All right, folks, welcome to today's episode. We're diving into a topic that every new parent absolutely needs to hear about: red flags when it comes to baby crying. You know, it's one of those things that can really keep you up at night, right? I mean, you hear that little one wailing and your heart just drops. To help us navigate this emotional roller coaster, we have Dr. Emily Carter, a pediatrician and expert in children's health. Dr. Carter, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here and talk about this. I mean, crying is such a big part of parenting, right? But, how do you even know when it's serious?
Exactly. That's the million-dollar question. So, crying is a baby's primary way of communicating, but there are definitely some red flags that parents should be aware of. For instance, if you hear a high-pitched or inconsolable cry that just doesn't stop, that's a big one. It's like, imagine if you were in a crowded room and someone was yelling for help, but no one could hear them. You'd want to do something, right?
Oh, wow, that's a really vivid analogy. So, what else should parents look out for? I can't even imagine how stressful it must be to hear your baby cry like that. Laughs.
Absolutely. It can be incredibly stressful. Another sign to watch for is lethargy, or decreased responsiveness. If your baby seems unusually sleepy or isn't reacting to stimuli, that's concerning. Think of it like a car that's running out of gas. If it's not responding when you press the pedal, you know something's off.
That makes sense. So, if they're not waking up to eat or play, that's a red flag?
Exactly. And then there's the bulging soft spot on the baby's head. It's like a warning light on your dashboard. If you see that, it's time to call your pediatrician.
Oh man, that sounds scary. I mean, I've heard about that before, but I didn't realize it was such a big deal. What about breathing difficulties? Laughs.
Great question. If your baby is breathing fast or has bluish skin, that's definitely a red flag. It's like when you're running a marathon and you can't catch your breath. Your body is signaling that something's wrong.
Wow, I never thought of it that way. So, what about fever? I've heard that can be a big concern for babies, right?
Yes, absolutely. A fever of 100.4 degrees Fahrenheit or higher in babies under 3 months is a serious concern. That's like a fire alarm going off in your house. You need to take action immediately. And if the temperature drops below 96.8 degrees Fahrenheit, that's also alarming.
Oh gosh, that's a lot to keep track of. So, what if they're not eating? What does that mean?
If your baby is refusing to eat or showing signs of dehydration, like a dry mouth or fewer wet diapers, that's another red flag. It's like a plant that's wilting. If it's not getting enough water, it's not going to thrive.
That's such a good analogy. So, what about vomiting? I've heard that can be a sign of something serious too.
Yes, if you see greenish or yellow vomit, or if there's abdominal swelling, that's definitely something to take seriously. It's like when you see a storm brewing on the horizon. You know you need to prepare for something potentially dangerous.
Wow, I can't believe how many signs there are. So, what should parents do if they notice any of these red flags? Laughs.
I always tell parents to trust their instincts. If the crying seems unusual, more intense, lasts longer, or is accompanied by any of those red flags, don't hesitate to call your pediatrician or head to the ER. It's better to be safe than sorry.
That's such valuable advice. I mean, I can imagine how overwhelming it must be for new parents. Thank you, Dr. Carter, for shedding light on this topic. Parents, your baby's health is a top priority, so don't ignore these warning signs.
Thank you for having me. Remember, early action can make all the difference.
That's all for today. Stay tuned for more health tips and take care of yourselves and your little ones. This is your host, signing off. Laughs.